Hi, welcome back to the Coding Genius, and in this video we are basically learn about MongoDB and how we can create different APIs in nodejs. So first of all, I will show you my package.json because I have installed two new packages, that is .env and Mongos. And for that, uh, let me show you. Okay, so you will write npm install mongos and .env. Okay, basically that mongos package will help us to connect our nodejs code to our MongoDB database, and .env package is for our .env files. Okay, so if we click on enter, then it will install these packages. By default I have already installed these packages, so it's not installing again. Okay, now the other thing is, first of all, come to MongoDB, and here if you click on its first link, then it will ask you start free. Now if you click on this start free button, then it will ask you to register your account. You can create your account using Google and your email. I have already created my account and I'm not doing it again. So this will be the dashboard after creating your account, and by clicking on this you can create new project. Click on this new project button and it will ask you project name. I will give it a to do. Okay, it will be to do or like to do project. Okay, then click on just next, and here you can add members and set their permissions. I'm not adding any member. Then click on create project. It will create a project in your MongoDB dashboard. Here you can see. Okay, now we need to create a cluster, and click on this create button. Okay, and for that we will use this free plan, and basically it will provide us 5 512 MB storage, shared RAM and CPU will be shared. Okay, basically we are testing, that's why we are using this free plan. And create deployment. Okay, then it will ask you about this captcha. It will take some time to create your cluster. And if you want to learn about MongoDB, then you can go to its docs. MongoDB documentation, and here you can learn about its documentation. If we click on this nodejs, and okay, these are the documentation, and here you can learn from here. Now come to our dashboard, then it will create then it will show you this pop-up, and here you can add username and password. Okay, just copy this password and create database user, then choose a connection method and it will show you multiple options. And for now we are basically working on node.js, that's why we will click this option and just click on done. Okay, it will take some time, and after that it will show you a URL basically that help us to connect our node.js project to your MongoDB database. It will take some time. And one more thing, go to this network access tab, and when you click on this network access tab, it will show a button add IP address. Then just click on that add IP address and it will show a pop-up and it will ask you a temporary IP address. uh, then you click, as you click on that button, then it will add IP address and it will be like 0.0.0.0. Okay, so this will be the IP address when you click on that temporary IP address, or its message will be like it will be like you can access from anywhere, that will be its message. And when you click on that button, it will create automatically IP address. Okay, so our cluster is created. Now come to this get connection string, and first of all come to your Visual Studio and create .env file, and you will create like, just click on this area, and if we click on this .env, okay, so it will automatically create .env file. Now come to this .env file, and first I will paste my password that I have copied. Okay, now this is the URL that will help us to connect our database to our node.js. Click on done, then come to your Visual Studio Code and paste it here like that, and just copy this password, and here you can see TB password. Replace your password here. Okay, so our URL is set up in .env file. Okay, now I think this is the work for our MongoDB dashboard. Now we will see how we can use, how we will create different APIs and its model. I have created different models. One is config. So first of all, come to this config and db.js. If you come to this db.js, here you can see actually I have written a code for our connection to our DB. This will handle the connection to our database. Okay, so first of all I have import this mongos, and there is a function connect DB. This will be an async function, and in async function we have used this mongos.connect and process env.mongo URI, and we will pass that .env URI to this db.js. Okay, then it will connect to our database, and here it will print MongoDB is connected and your host is this. Otherwise, in case of error, it will tell us that error has occurred, and basically that is in our config db file. Now we need to use this in our index.js file or other files. That's why we will export it from here, and this is the syntax from exporting anything that you want to use in your other files. Okay, so module.export is equal to connectdb, that is the function name that we will want to export. And in index.js file I will show you how you can import and use that connectdb. Okay, so this is for config file. Now we will see our models. Come to this models folder, and here I have created a to do model.js file, and in this file I have written a schema for our MongoDB, and that will help us to store our data. This is Mongo's schema, and then after creating schema I have converted it to model. Okay, let me this is, first of all I have import Mongos, then created a new instance to do schema and Mongos dot schema, and in schema I have passed a title and its type is string and it is required and true. Okay, then I have created an body and its type is string and required true. If you want to change these required or types, you can also change it. Like, I don't need to make it required. Okay, if you want to make it required, then write down here required and it will be true. Okay, then I have created an other instance that is completed and its type is boolean, and by default it will be false. Okay, so actually this is the schema. This will be the you can call it key value pairs. Okay, and this is the option for our schema. If we make timestamp to true, then basically it will create two times, create it and update it automatically. When you will create to do, then created at and updated at time will automatically created. Okay, so this is for schema, and then we have used that schema to create our model. Okay, and I have passed a model name that is to do, and its schema is this that I have already created. And MongoDB basically provide collection names like they will get from this to do. My model name is to do, then MongoDB will make a collection from to do like that, like it will choose this to do and make it pluralize. It means it will put an S at the end of the to do and make it small. So this will be the collection name. This will be the collection name in our MongoDB. Okay, and this will be its model, and there will be its different data. And I have also export this to do to use in our different folders. Okay, so this is for model.js, and now come to our controllers, and here I have created a controller. Okay, so there are the APIs that I have created here. Okay, so here you can see I have require a models to do model. If you come to this model, then here you can see I have export it like to do, and if you come to this to do controller, this will the name will be same. Here is to do, and if you come to do model, then here you can see it is to do. So this name will be same, otherwise it will give you an error. And here you can see I have import it like that from to do model, and these are our APIs like get to do's. It will get all to dos and create to do will create to do, in this for update to do and this for delete to do. And I have also export these for our methods or APIs to use in our other files. Okay, so first one is get to do's. Let me minimize this, and if I click on this, okay, so here you can see this is our, let me, okay, here you can see this is our basic structure that I have already shown you in our last video, that how we can create our basic API. Okay, so this is our basic structure, and here I have write this code try catch, and in try catch uh, to do is equal to await to do dot find. Okay, so this to do is that is coming from our to do model. Now is a document in our MongoDB database, and this find method is from our Mongos or MongoDB. Okay, this find method will fetch all the data that is available in our database and assign to this to do's. Okay, and then this is the response dot status is 200. It means our API is working successfully, its response is 200, and its JSON is to do's. Okay, so it will return in JSON format. Okay, if you come to this to do model, here you can see basically this is a JSON format. This schema is basically JSON format. Okay, so it will return our to do's as a list, but in JSON format. There will be a list, and in list there will be multiple instances of to do, that will contain title, body, created at, updated at, id, and completed. And if it is through an error, then status will be 500. It means our API is not working, and it will send a message, error message, and it will also be in JSON format. So this is for get to do's, and other one is create to do. If you want to create to do, then here you can see to do is equal to new to do. This is the model, and here I have passed title and request dot body dot title. So basically this request req, this is request and dot body. So when we will work on Flutter site, we will provide title body in our API data field, so that we will get using this required dot body dot title. Okay, then request dot body, this is for our request body, and this is body for our to do model. Okay, and then third one is completed, request dot body dot completed. If it is true, then it's true, otherwise it will check it's false. Okay, by default, basically by default we make it by default false, so that's why. And after creating this to do, then we need to save this to our MongoDB database. Then we will call to do dot save. This save method is coming from our mongoose package, that will help to create that to do in our MongoDB database. And then we have called this response dot status is 201 dot JSON save to do. It means 201 201 is mean we have successfully created our to do, and this is its JSON file. Now the third one is update to do. If you want to update to do, and here you can see find by id and update. So this method is also coming from Mongo's package, and it requires some parameters like request dot params dot id. Okay, So if you come to this, here you can see I have passed this request dot body, and here if you focus on request dot params, so params are different thing and body is different thing, and I will uh, tell you these differences when we will work on Flutter side, so you will understand it. Okay, right now request dot params dot id, so we want to update a to do whose id is this and its body. It means we want to update, so this is its body and this is the id. Okay, now this is for our mongoose and we have passed new, it's true, run validators, it will true, it will run validators that it is exist, this id is exist or not. Okay, if update to do, then if it's not exists, then it will throw an error to do not found. Okay, otherwise it will return 200 and it will return a json to json to do. Okay, now the last one is delete to do, and here the method is find by id and delete. We have passed an id and that we want to delete, and here it will check if that to do is not exist, then it will throw an error to do not found, its status code will be 404, otherwise status code will be 200, and it will send a message to do delete. You can also change the status according to your requirements, like I can add 100, but that is common 200. Okay, now these are for our four apis, and here I have export these four apis methods. Okay, now we need to create our apis actually, and that is come to this routes. If you come to this routes folder, then here you can see I have require an express, and I have required these four different methods, that is get to do, create to do, update to do, delete to do from our to do controller. If you come to this to do controller, here you can see these names, and these names are actually same. If they are different, then it will throw an error. Okay, and I have created a router, and that is coming from our express framework. Okay, so here express is working, express.router, and we will use this router to make our apis. Like if we want to get api, so this is its routing, and this method will trigger get to do's, and in to do controller we have seen that get to do's basically fetch all to do's that are present in our database. Okay, and router dot post, and this post method will help us to create a new to do, and this router dot put and input, here you can see actually this is the param. Okay, when we will pass id in our url, so that will be param, and when we pass data in our body, and that will be its body. Okay, and here I have passed a update to do, and for delete I have passed an id and the to do function, and I have also export these router as well. So this is for to do's routes. Now our main file, that is index.json file. Okay, now this was the previous code, and we don't need, let me clear all the empty strings. Okay, so in this code I have defined some other method, some other files like this one, the previous one, express. This is for our .env file. This is for our connect.db, and that is coming from config.db.js that we have also declared here. Okay, and that to do routes, that is coming from our routes to do routes.json from this folder. And if we come to this to do routes, then here you can see module.export router. Okay, now here I have called this .env.config for configuration setup, and this connect db, that is coming from our db.json file here. So as our server run, then it will first configure our .env file, and then it will call that our database connection method. And if we come to this connect db method, that is in db.json file, so we have already uh, configured our .env file, then it will get URI from that, and it will connect our server to MongoDB. Then I have created an app using express.json, that is the previous one, and here you can see I have used app.use express.json. So it means it will accept data in JSON and return data in JSON. So this is for that. And app.use. So, and here I have provided API to do's, and that is to do routes. So this is our like basic URL, and then we can call these different routes for creating, getting, updating, and deleting APIs. Then this is for our port, that is if that is not in our env file, then it will by default use 5000, and app.listen port, and this will call this method. Okay, so this is for whole code. And for testing purpose, come to, if you don't have Postman, then just go to new tab and install Postman. Okay, and after installing that, you can use it free. Here it is also showing its plan and pricing, but you can also use it free. Okay, and I have already downloaded this Postman. Now come to, first of all, come to this terminal, make it clear, and now we will run node mon index.js. It will take some time, and then here you can see server running on port 5000, and here you can see MongoDB is connected, and this is the host name. Now if we, let me show you db.js, here you can see MongoDB connected, and this is the host name. Okay, now come to your Postman, and first one is we will create our APIs. I have tested this. Let me make it more, let me, give me a minute. Okay, now this will be its title, and let me here you can see this is our local host 5000. And if we come to this, and if we come to index.js file, here you can see API to do. So this is our by default basic URL that we will use, and then API to do's. Okay, and if we call this, so this it means by default it will and this is our post method. And if you come to our routes, to do routes, then here you can see if it is post and there is no name, then it will call this create to do. Okay, and in our body I have created a JSON like title, body, and completed, it is false. Now if I send this, then here you can see our status is 201 created, and this is the title, body, completed, and this is the id that is generated by default, and created at updated at, that is because of our timestamp. If we come to this again, then let me show you this create to do. Let me, okay, if you come to this create to do, here you can see 201. In Postman it is showing 201 or it's created. Now come to your database and let me show you. If you come to this database, it will take some time, and if you come to this browse collections, then it will, okay, so our to do's, here you can see it is created here. Okay, so this is our to do's uh, collection name, that I have shown you how MongoDB actually use your model name to create a collection name. Okay, so and this test is basically our database name. Okay, here you can see this our model is created. Now come to this again, and okay, if we send this again, then it is 201. Okay, now I will refresh this. It will take some time, and here you can see buy fruits, I need apple. So this is basically created. Now come to this Postman, and the other method is our get method, and here it will basically get all the to-dos that is in our database. Now click on this send. This is get method. Okay, get API call, and if you come to this, here you can see our two to-dos are fetch successfully, buy groceries and buy fruits. Okay, now the third one is put API call, and in put API call basically we will update our to do. So this one for our by default API call, and now we want to update our buy groceries and make it true. Let me show you. And first of all we come to its database, and we need its id, and that is this one. Just copy it, come to this, and here you can see. So basically when you add this id here, so it will be like param, you can call it param, and this will be its body. Okay, request dot param means this, the params that you will add in actual url, and request dot body is the data that you will provide in its body. Okay, so this is the difference between request dot params and request dot body. Okay, so if you come to this database, here you can see it is by default false, and now I have make it true, and if we click on this send, okay, so here you can see it is true, and its status is 200. And if you come to this database, if we refresh this, then it will show you that, let me show you. Okay, oh, here you can see buy groceries, this is true, it means it's working. Now the other one is delete, and if you want to delete any to do, here you will pass its id, and I am passing it's the same id. And if you click on this send, here you can see message to do deleted. And if you come to this again and refresh this, okay, our one to do is deleted successfully. Now the last one is our for actually getting one to do. Okay, and if I pass its id, so actually there is one, and if you pass it id, so this will, okay, not found. Yeah, actually we didn't work on this api, that's why it's not fetching. Okay, and so this is for our code. And if you want to add that api request, like we want to get that particular api, then you will come to your code. There you will create an other code like uh, get single file, and here you will call it like find by id, and here you will pass request dot params dot id. Okay, and this will help you to get that single to do. Okay, so you can do it by your own. So this will be your task, and this is for this video. And I will show you in next video that how we can connect our Flutter to our nodejs server and do these all apis call from our Flutter site.